despicable. Or I could do a little bit more Daffy. You're despicable. Probably not the best Daffy either, but we take what we can get. Autobots, transform and roll out. It is the 27th of March, 2026. Our wonderful employee Miguel is with us in the comments, making sure he's our elite guard, basically. He's making sure everybody behaves. Him and Corbin are doing an amazing job making sure everyone behaves in the Discord. Our Discord doesn't really get too crazy, to be honest, though. Everybody's all everybody's all on the same page, like in terms of alignment, really. What I like to say is like this Discord is really, it's chaotic good. You know what I mean? It is a chaotic. There's lawful good, there's neutral good, there's chaotic good. This is chaotic good. And so that's where we kind of settle in. It is Friday. We are heading into the weekend. Very, very amazing, and in my opinion anyway, very nice weather. I've got plans. Yeah, I saw Daffy was in the shop, but I thought he would be in the season pass, or the battle pass. I don't care what the hell you call it, season pass, battle pass. But yeah, I did see that. Daffy was in there. That's awesome. Well, it's awesome, but it's also a shame because I want Daffy. But of course, that means he's not going to be in the battle pass. So let's really take a big look. Let's look at this year in gaming. If you've seen the Discord, you kind of have an idea of what this year in gaming looks like. I would say depending on your fandoms, the way this year shakes out. If you're a Marvel fan, you're going to have Wolverine. Grand Theft Auto fan, you're going to have Grand Theft Auto. And then in terms of Nintendo, you're going to have a wealth of options to choose from. To be totally frank, you're going to have you're going to have an endless supply of games. It looks like, if the rumors are true, Nintendo's going to surprise us with a big Zelda game this year. It's going to be a remake, but it's going to be a big Zelda game, and so the 40th anniversary of Zelda is going to get a major push for attention. Star Fox is also coming back, which is, again, tying into Star Fox's appearance in the Super Mario Galaxy movie, where he's voiced by Glenn Powell. All this has been in the Discord for a while, so if you're in the Discord, you already know all of this. But my point is that a lot of major games are coming out this year. 2027 is very light. Now, I'm not saying, Hasbro is able to make a 2027 release on their Transformer game. I can't say that, but we know that a Transformer game is in development at Hasbro. So imagine, if you will, that Hasbro is able, to get that game out by November, December 2027. The only major games right now that we know of in 2027, and honestly, we don't know when it's coming out, is Pokemon Wind and Pokemon Waves, which, again, I'll be there for. Pokemon Winds, personally. That's just me. But that's the only big release for 2027 that we have, that we mark on the calendar officially. We know that's coming, because if Nintendo gives you a date, it's going to happen. Now, outside of that, there is the big 3D Mario game. If the 3D Mario game does not launch this year, it's going to be a 2027 release as well. It just is. You can mark this. You can mark this video. If Mario is not a 2026 release, the Mario game that leaked out, it is a 2027 release. There's no way about it. We frankly because next year it will have been 10 years since Odyssey. So we're gonna get that 3D Mario game that leaked out. It's just a question of when. Nintendo didn't cancel that. I had some weird messages like, did Nintendo cancel? No, they didn't. It's just, with Nintendo, they keep release dates really close to the chest, which is totally fair. So we're not going to know their game plan until they start telling people. So that being said, really, if Mario is not this year, then Mario is guaranteed next year, and you can mark it. What's that? Okay. So that means next year we have two major Nintendo releases if Mario doesn't come out this year. And right now, I don't think Mario's coming out this year. There's a possibility it gets announced in June, but if the Zelda remake rumors are true, Zelda is going to sell consoles. You you don't need Mario releasing a month later or whatever. I mean, again, it depends on how they stagger it. If Zelda comes out in September and Mario comes out in November, that's good. That's cool. But um, that's where I shake that out. Miguel asked my favorite Looney Tune show. It's the one that's literally called the Looney Tune Show, where Bugs Bunny and Daffy Duck were roommates. I love that one. It is the best, and it's mine and my kids' absolute favorite. We have legitimately rewatched. We haven't rewatched it recently, but when my daughter was younger, we watched that a lot, and now my son and I watch it a lot. Love that cartoon. But yeah, it is the Looney Tune Show. So when we talk about the Transformer game that's coming, if you put that out in September, October 2027, you're going to have a hit. Obviously, the game has to be good, but you're going to have a hit. Um, and again, I say all of that. Is it very likely it's a 2028 release? Yes, it is. But if it's true when they started development, and again, this is going on my perspective on how I believe game development, the turnaround should be. But if it's true that the development on the AAA Transformers title began very shortly after the cancellation of Transformers Reactivate, we're looking at 2025, 2026, most 2027. I don't. 3 years for a Transformer game seems reasonable. Like it really does. Like Transformers Reactivate started in one form of development in 2017, and look where that got us. These games don't need long development times. And anyone who tells you different is a company shill. That's just a fact. They don't need that kind of time. Now, all of that, and the reason I've been talking about Nintendo and Transformers, is this newest rumor, and I'm okay with this if this pans out. But the newest rumor that's going around says that Nintendo and Hasbro want to do on Switch 2 an exclusive Transformers game. If you've been on this channel long enough and you scroll back in time, just to be fair, going back in time on our videos and our live streams, I've been a huge proponent of Nintendo partnering with Hasbro to do an exclusive Transformer game like they did like they did with Marvel and Ultimate Alliance 3. So, I'm a cheerleader for this decision. I think Nintendo and Hasbro is a match made in heaven. I think Transformers is a perfect franchise for Nintendo platforms. I think Transformers was made to be on Nintendo. I think it is legitimately perfect. If that happens, and that might not, I very strongly doubt it is what if all the puzzle pieces we put together is right. And again, we're making a lot of assumptions based off various leaks. So we're making assumptions based off these, right? Drawing conclusions. It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. I'm digressing on something else. Anyway, there's that episode where Dennis is speaking. It's a therapist, yeah, and he's like, and she's like, "What are you doing?" He says, can't remember the full line of dialogue, but he's like, drawing conclusions. And then he turns around and it's a picture of him holding her breasts, and I think he says, "It's quite complimentary" or something like that. It's just weird. Anyway, digression's done. But looking at where we are, looking at the landscape of gaming, Nintendo Switch 2 is the fastest selling console in history. It continues to exceed expectations even at what is considered a dead time of the year. We would be in for a treat if Hasbro and Nintendo gave us an exclusive Transformer title. One, the audience is there. It's going to sell. It is going to sell just like Ultimate Alliance 3 did. Transformers would sell. Honestly, I think Transformers would sell better than Ultimate Alliance at this point. I really do. So, is it very likely it is the big AAA? I doubt it. I doubt it is. If everything we have concluded is all the puzzle pieces are lined up with this one thing, if Saber is developing the Transformer game that Hasbro told investors about, I'm pretty sure that's going to be multi-platform. So this could be something else. And maybe Platinum Games. Maybe this is what Hasbro and Microsoft have been talking about. Maybe. Again, drawing my own conclusions off this rumor, but that's kind of half the fun. And this is two ways of looking at it. If this Transformer game is real, if the rumors of Nintendo and Hasbro are talking about making a Transformer game and that pans out, then that in 2027, and then the AAA multi-platform title in 2028. One way or the other, I think it's really important to capitalize on where Transformers popularity is at right now. And I know that's saying like it doesn't have a movie. It doesn't need a movie. TV shows are huge. The Energon, the announcement. So one, our leak of the Energon Universe show last year did great numbers for us. So Deadline confirming it was a huge deal. It took Deadline a year to catch up with us. So Deadline confirming it and announcing the showrunner was one of the biggest news stories. Now you tell me, Transformers. One of the biggest news stories. That's a big deal. And that's all thanks to the comic getting the attention it is. Now, it's got Cyberworld going on. Cyberworld, the toddler, young adult focused show. It's got that, which again is going along nicely. It's getting views. It's doing well. Hasbro's happy with the numbers. But the Energon universe has done something outside of comics, and it has garnered so much attention. It's garnered attention on the level of manga, because comics just don't get attention like that anymore. But the Energon universe and Transformers has garnered the attention that manga gets over here in the West. That's a big deal. Everybody was talking about that show announcement. Everybody was talking about the show when it leaked. Now it gets, unofficially announced by Deadline. It's even bigger. Like it was one of our most talked about, topics when I did the video, which is, already saying something in terms of our analytics. So that's a big deal. A show based off a comic. All I'm saying is you got to ride this. You got to ride this high. You have to ride this high somehow. Whatever happened to Transformers Ignition? Well, nothing didn't not happen. I think that is the Saber game. But again, that's just me drawing conclusions. It's various leaks. We put puzzle pieces together. I say that all the time. And again, I've added to that in the Discord if you've missed it in the Discord or whatever, but because we went over every single detail. But basically, Saber Interactive is working on a game, a AAA game that is a shooter. Hasbro told investors we're making the next-gen AAA Transformers game right now. Maybe that's one of the same, maybe it's not. And then Transformers Ignition leaks. Now, I think it's all the same. Just like Transformers Online to Impact to Rise to Reactivate. It's an evolution. It's a process. We'll see what happens. I think this game is actually going to come out, though. I don't know what it's going to ultimately be at the end because we're putting puzzle pieces together. But I think it's all the same. That's just my general thought. These various leaks, I think they're all the same. Now, if I'm wrong and Saber's making a different IP, I don't know who else Hasbro would have making a Transformer game, to be honest with you. Unless it is Skybound, which we talked about. I think Skybound is helping Hasbro. Maybe they're producing, maybe they're co-developing. I think if Saber is the one that is the main developer, I wouldn't be surprised if Skybound is helping. But again, it's all these various leaks that we don't have, we don't exactly know what Saber's working on, but we know they're making something for Hasbro, and it was called a shooter. But it was never told what IP it was, right? Hasbro tells investors, we're making the next AAA Transformer game right now. Okay, that's interesting. So is that connected? Then Transformers Ignition leaks. Okay, well, is that connected? Is it preliminary? Is it early pre-production? Well, it's definitely early pre-production. Is that anything that's going to make it into the final? Is it just another stage? So, again, it's just puzzle pieces putting them together. And now, if the rumor about Nintendo and Hasbro meeting and talking about Transformers is true, that just adds another wrench in it, because is that something, or is that you know, I don't see how it's Saber. I don't think Saber would be making a Nintendo game. That's just me. Nothing against Saber. I just don't think they would. They're really. I expect Saber to make something that's multi-platform. Miguel says, "Is there a Transformers and Looney Tune crossover?" No, WB hasn't done anything like that that I'm aware of in terms of where I can reach through in my mind. There's a Transformers My Little Pony crossover, and then of course there's Looney Tunes crossing over with DC. There's Looney Tunes is crossover with all kinds of things that are owned by WB, but there's not ever WB's never done anything with Hasbro because again you're talking about those are two different companies, so I feel like I'd remember if they did something. I mean, outside of parody, there might be a parody here or there where Looney Tunes does something silly and kind of homages Transformers, but that's not like a real crossover. But to do a real crossover, WB would have to work with Hasbro for it to be legit, and that's never happened. Like WB usually keeps it in house, in house, relatively speaking, whereas Hasbro also like Hasbro's willing to Hasbro's willing to play with other companies, as we see with their crossover toy lines, but I don't remember a Looney Tunes anything. Correct me if I'm wrong. You know it'd be a good crossover? Looney Tunes Scooby Doo. The Mystery Machine? That's a Transformer right there. I would buy, honestly, I would buy that. If Hasbro made that, I'd buy it, and I don't really buy Hasbro anymore. Nothing against Hasbro, I'm non-transformable in terms of my collection now. Blockies for the wealth of characters. I say that and point over here because my Blockies shelf is over here. And then I've got my 3-0 and my HasLab. You know what I mean? Thank you, Miguel. Hey, Dan. Did something come out recently that changed your mind on Saber making a 2027 release? If it's true that Nintendo and Hasbro are making one, which again, if you've been here for the entire stream, this is going to sound really repetitive, and I apologize. But yeah, so if the rumor that Hasbro and Nintendo have met on a Transformer game, I think one would come out in 2027 and one would come out in 2028. So, because again, I've always said it, I always like to be clear, and all this is cataloged very clearly in the Discord. That it's an easy way to catch up. But Saber. Whatever Saber is making, I feel like it's going to come out either like really late 2027, November, or sometime in 2028. Now, that is my perspective on it should not take that long to make even if it's a G.I. Joe game, G.I. Joe or Transformers, it shouldn't take that long. It really shouldn't. No offense. It really should not. So I feel like if it has been in production for as long as we've been led to believe it's been in production, then we're looking at a late 2027 or a general 2028 release. So that being said, can you put out, and maybe I'm wrong, by all means, but if Nintendo and Hasbro are making moves to put a Hasbro property on Nintendo, do you do that in the same year? I don't think you do. Again, it's all rumor right now, but it's just interesting. And I'm a fan because, one, I love Nintendo, and two, I've been saying for years that Nintendo should partner with Hasbro, or Hasbro should partner with Nintendo, because it would have to be something Hasbro approached. I don't think Nintendo really goes looking for this kind of license stuff, but if Hasbro said, hey, I think Nintendo would say yes. If the money was right and the sales projections were good, I think Nintendo would say yes in a heartbeat to get an exclusive Transformer game like they did with Ultimate Alliance. And Ultimate Alliance 3 was successful. Ultimate Alliance 3 was more successful than Marvel's Avengers. Marvel's Avengers was released on everything. Let's put that in perspective. So I think a Transformer title on Switch 2 would be successful. I think Transformers would be more successful than other Hasbro properties, though. Well, than G.I. Joe. To be fair, Hasbro could also put My Little Pony on Switch 2. Anyway, I think Transformers makes more sense. But I'm biased, and we know about all kinds of movement in the Transformers gaming space, and we know Hasbro likes to do all ages focused Transformer titles. So I think it would be right at home, especially if it had a good budget. I'm not talking about, it doesn't have to be like crazy AAA, but some co-op fun budget, maybe even heavily inspired by the Energon universe. I mean, think about it. Whatever Saber, if Saber is doing the AAA Transformers game that Hasbro told investors about, because again, we don't know for certain that Saber is 100% the studio that Hasbro was talking about. We're putting puzzle pieces together, as I want to constantly remind everybody. Saber announced to their investors that they were working on a major Hasbro IP, a leading Hasbro IP, and that it was going to be a third-person action-adventure shooter. That could be G.I. Joe, but I wouldn't describe G.I. Joe as a major Hasbro IP. I'm sorry. I just don't. Transformers is their biggest thing. And you're not giving the My Little, you're not going to see Rainbow Dash running around with a fucking AK-47. That doesn't make sense. But, so then Hasbro goes and says, oh, hey, yeah, because an investor asked Hasbro after Transformers Reactivate was canceled, what's the future of Transformers? You say gaming is a focus, and now this has fallen apart. And Hasbro told that investor, oh, no, we're already starting work on the next-gen AAA Transformers title. Maybe it's connected, maybe it's not. Then Transformers Ignition leaks. Maybe it's connected, maybe it's not. Maybe it's preliminary, early pre-production. These could be 3 different things, for all we know. Or it could all be one and the same. But if a AAA Transformer title, that's going to be a multi-platform release, what Saber's working on. At least I feel that way. Even if it's G.I. Joe, it's going to be multi-platform. Okay. Dan says, I thought I missed something. Miguel compliments my Transformers edit. Thank you so much. Miguel says, now it's my turn to farm for Bugs Bunny. Yeah, I'm up to level 108 in Fortnite. Okay, and I read that Dan comment. Okay, we're caught up. Cool. We're caught up right now. Yay. But no, like, I don't think you put out 2 titles in 1 year, even if one's an exclusive. I just don't think you do that. That's my perspective, though. Unless you split it by 6 months. I mean, I guess you could do that. To be fair, you could do that. I think a 6-month gap is good. But I don't know. I don't know. And again, I say all of that to preface this. I'm playing devil's advocate. The Nintendo Hasbro rumor is just about, we don't know what the IP is. To be fair, it could be My Little Pony. But I just don't think there's money in that. I think there's money in Transformers. I don't think there's money in G.I. Joe. Right now, not right now. Not on a large scale. G.I. Joe kind of have to earn it. I mean, I know how I would make a G.I. Joe game, but you're not ready for that conversation. Nobody is. The world's just not ready for my G.I. Joe game. My G.I. Joe game would be fucking awesome, though. I'll tell you what. My Transformer game would be fucking awesome, too. Tell you what. Anyway, Dan says, what type of gameplay would Nintendo have for this Transformer game? Something more like Ultimate Alliance, Devastation, or the Earthspark tie-in? I think it'd be more like Devastation. I think that's more up Nintendo's alley. When you look at, when you look at Bayonetta, you know what I mean? I think that's up Nintendo's alley more. The only other thing is, TMNT isn't Hasbro. So that's not even worth, that's not a part of the conversation. TMNT is not, Hasbro has nothing to do with Ninja Turtles. Nothing at all to do with Ninja Turtles. Hasbro owns Transformers, G.I. Joe, My Little Pony, Power Rangers, Void Rivals, because that's technically theirs. That's a new Hasbro IP, but just nothing's been done with it outside of comics, and only a Comic-Con pack with Jetfire and the 2 leads. But those are Hasbro's like most well-known properties. And then you get into the smaller properties, Mask, Action Man, really small ones that nothing's been done with for a while. So like we can roll those out. I mean, Mask is about to get a comic book, but you know what I mean. They're not like, oh, and Stretch Armstrong. Anyway, they're just not, those aren't major IPs. So if you're looking at like major Hasbro IPs, Transformers is the biggest. No one tell me different. I know this is a Transformers channel, but do not argue with that. Transformers is the biggest. Then probably My Little Pony, and then Power Rangers, and then G.I. Joe. But the G.I. Joe Classified series is actually selling really well. The G.I. Joe Classified series is selling better than Star Wars Black series, so that might be something. It's also selling better than Marvel Legends, so that might count. That might be a big deal. G.I. Joe might be bigger than I think it is, just because of my perspective. The comic is crazy selling, The comic is selling amazingly well, beating Marvel in most cases. So there is a little bit of perspective to that. But those are, like I said, Transformers, My Little Pony, Power Rangers, GI Joe. I would say are the biggest. Oh, and Dungeons and Dragons. Sorry, my bad. Dungeons and Dragons. Those five are the biggest. There's already a few Power Rangers games, aren't there? Yeah, but none of them are exclusive to Nintendo. And Power Rangers hasn't really had like a major AAA release, just some side scroller beat 'em ups and things like that, and then a fighting game. So Hasbro's been really reserved with that in terms of for Power Rangers, but I just don't think it is Power Rangers. I just don't think Power Rangers is that big. I don't think that would be something that got Nintendo's attention. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong, and I don't mind being wrong. But I feel like Transformers or My Little Pony makes the most sense. I don't think GI Joe makes sense on Nintendo. I mean, maybe Dungeons and Dragons. Maybe Dungeons and Dragons makes sense on Nintendo, but I just don't think you could. I don't know. I guess you could do a hack and slash Dungeons and Dragons game like Bayonetta. I'm biased. I'm obviously biased in this because like I keep trying to think of a way that it can be Transformers. And to be fair, you could do a GI Joe hack and slash where it stars Snake Eyes, and you could just call it Snake Eyes. That would get a lot of attention. And if Nintendo got that, that might be a big deal. Generally speaking, because of how Nintendo publishes and because of Nintendo's partnerships, games thankfully don't have to make crazy sales because Nintendo is amazing. I'm sorry, this is objective. Nintendo is the best publisher and developer in the world. They budget their games so unbelievably well. They can sell 3 million copies and have a massive success with all of their employees getting bonuses. It's not like that in the West. Most game studios and the publishers that own them, it's an absolute mess with the corporations over here. But it's not like that with a lot of companies, and especially it's definitely not like that with Nintendo. So you could have a Snake Eyes game that sells 3 million copies and that be huge. You could have a Transformers, maybe not a Devastation sequel, but a spiritual successor to Devastation that sold well. I think, and again, I am being really humble. I think Transformers, even on Switch 2, could easily sell more than 4 million copies if it was a good game. So I am taking as just a fact that this would be a good game, and I think the sales numbers would be there. I think at least half of the Switch 2 install base would purchase a Transformer game. I think that is fair. I feel very confident in saying I would need 3 copies. Me, my son, and my daughter. Because if it's co-op, oh no, this is going to be amazing. But that's playing devil's advocate. That's making a lot of assumptions based off really basic rumors. Does this replace the Transformers AAA title that Hasbro was talking about? Definitely not. What the AAA Transformers title that Hasbro was talking about is obviously a multi-platform release. This rumor about Nintendo and Hasbro, like I said, it might not even be Transformers, but I think it's a good matchup. And I'm biased because I literally made a video years ago talking about how Hasbro should partner with Nintendo for a Transformers title. And I stand by that. I stand by that opinion very strongly. If I was on Hasbro's team, that's what I would be telling them to do. I would be telling them to get out there, turn a game around quickly, especially if this Transformers AAA release isn't targeting a 2027 release. That's all I'm saying. I think you could do it. I think you can do it efficiently. I think you can do it quickly, especially if you're not focused on like a competitive multiplayer. If you do co-op, oh man, you're making money. You're making money. That's all I'm saying. So Hasbro, that's my free advice to you. If this isn't a Transformers title, with whatever this rumor is or isn't, it should be. It should be. At the same time, I say all of that to say this. A hack and slash Snake Eyes game I think would sell well. And a cozy life sim My Little Pony would also sell well. If Hello Kitty can do it, My Little Pony can do it. Hasbro's leaving a lot of money on the table. These games should be coming out. These games should exist. They're easy. You steal from the best, Hasbro. You just steal. Snake Eyes should be Devil May Cry 5. A AAA Transformer game should basically be Halo. A Transformers hack and slash, again, Bayonetta. Bayonetta, you know what I'm saying? Devil May Cry, Bayonetta, it should be in that vibe because a Transformers hack and slash can be just as successful as a Transformers shooter. Both can exist, both very distinctly and very good. Devastation proved that. Again, Hasbro, I am available for consultations. You know, because you're leaving money on the table. You just are. And again, I feel the same thing about Power Rangers. Power Rangers hack and slash. There's no reason. Like, especially if you budget it right. Because you need to aim for these titles, especially Power Rangers. You need to aim for about 3 million sales. I don't expect more than that. You should aim for about 3 million. So you need to budget accordingly. And you can do that with Nintendo. These smaller titles, you can do that. I don't know if you can do that with Microsoft because it's Microsoft. You know what I mean? Microsoft is a hard partner in this day and age. I don't know if you could really budget accordingly, but you have to budget on a proper scale for some of these titles so that you can generate really good revenue and profit, because you want to release and you want to have good press. So like if you release on a really reasonable budget and you sell 3 million, you've just raked in a ton of money. And it looks good to investors because you're just completely in the positive. That's all I'm saying. Let's see. Dan says the Snake Eyes film hurt the character's chances to appear in media for a while, I'm afraid. Kirkman keeps holding him hostage. Nothing on his game. Wouldn't be surprised if he isn't in the new movie. I'm of two minds about that, actually. So Kirkman talked about that at San Diego Comic-Con last year. Obviously, San Diego Comic-Con hasn't happened this year. But Kirkman did talk about that. He talked about the absence of the Dinobots and the absence of Snake Eyes. And he said it's all about building to these characters, because the arrival of these characters, beloved fan favorite characters, should be events unto themselves. Whereas, you know, it's a matter of treating the characters with reverence versus what Marvel and Lucasfilm have done with their characters. I think a lot of times, because of how much Marvel and Star Wars and these properties are shoved in our faces, we come to expect a lower standard. So just throw these characters out there. But the honest truth is, Luke Skywalker, Han Solo, Princess Leia, a number of the X-Men, a number of characters deserve to be treated better. And the average pop culture consumer has just decided to accept less. What Kirkman said is true, and honestly, Hasbro should be paying attention to Kirkman. These characters should be reserved, and you shouldn't just throw shit out. Whereas that's what Paramount does. Paramount's just trying to make shitty movies to hold on to a license. Hasbro, unfortunately, has no control over that. But how Hasbro uses these characters elsewhere is very important. And Hasbro doesn't treat them like shit because Hasbro listens to creators. Which I know is a really odd thing to say, and it's probably a really difficult thing to believe, but Hasbro, with their properties, are actually creator first. The Energon universe can do whatever they want, pending a couple of language and sexual limitations, which is totally fair for a property. You know, it should be something. Transformers is generally maxing out at 16 years old for ratings. I mean, the audience obviously isn't, and GI Joe is about the same, maxing out at about a 16-year-old rating. So, to me, that's totally fair. Kirkman is right about that. It's not a matter of holding it hostage. It's a matter of it needs to have impact. The Dinobots and Snake Eyes are many of our favorite characters. I don't know anything about G.I. Joe, but I know Snake Eyes. I would get a Snake Eye action figure if I ever saw it. I would have just a Snake Eyes figure to put on my single display of like random one-off characters. I would have a Snake Eyes because I know Snake Eyes. Even not being a fan of G.I. Joe, I was like, a ninja in black? Okay. My favorite color with my favorite weapon. Come on now. I love swords. So there is a perspective to that, and Kirkman is right. Kirkman does not own these characters. If Hasbro told him, you have to do this, he has to oblige. Kirkman can't hold anybody hostage. If Hasbro came in and took control, and Hasbro said, no, you put him in next month, he has to oblige. He has no ownership of this. It's a license. Thankfully, Hasbro is creator first, which I support. I am not on the side of corporations, limiting creativity. Miguel is asking, why don't we have a Green Lantern game yet? I wish they did more silliness with DC games. I would love, what I'd love to see? Lunatics Unleashed. Man, that'd be a fucking good multiplayer game. Dan says, agreed on the characters you mentioned needing the respect they deserve. How long until the Energon universe expands into more spin-off books? Years? So, no. Again, this was already answered. at San Diego Comic Con. So the Energon universe will expand to 4 books in June. So if anybody here doesn't know or doesn't follow comics, I'm going to do a little bit of a recap for anybody else watching or if this video gets shared. So right now, the Energon universe consists of Transformers, G.I. Joe, and Void Rivals. Void Rivals is a new IP that was created by Robert Kirkman but is owned by Hasbro. That was one of the agreements of their partnership. Kirkman wanted to do something new, and he said, I'm going to do something new for you, but you can have it. And Hasbro was like, cool, right on. Anyway, they have a great partnership. I cannot praise Hasbro enough because I think when corporations let creators create, deserves attention. Get corporate executives out of the fucking writer's room. Anyway, so those are the three. That's the Energon universe right now. In June, that will expand to include Mask, which is the mobile assault strike command. I don't even fucking know. I don't know shit about Mask. But anyway, it's expanding to Mask there. And that is the max. Well, anyway, that's what Kirkman said. Kirkman said at San Diego Comic Con when they announced Mask, he said, the Energon universe is stopping at 4 books. He said, like, we're only going to do 4 ongoings. We're not expanding anymore. Those are his exact words. So that's it. 4 books. There is a part of me in the back of my head where I'm like, man, if this keeps expanding and getting bigger and bigger and the audience is only growing, you could throw a 5th book in there. Or every so often, you could throw in a miniseries. We'll see what happens. But Kirkman's exact words, and to be fair, it's Robert Kirkman. Skybound is his company. His word is law. He has said, and he said this July 2025, the Energon universe will not go beyond 4 books a month. So, make of that what you will. I'm cool with it, though. I got to check this. We're at 37 minutes. I'm going to be wrapping up soon because I do have plans tonight. My work day is over. Okay, I rebirth for a 5th time. Oh, I'm gonna rebirth after this, which is not a euphemism. So anything else? We're at 40 minutes, so I'm not trying to rush the ending, but I'm just like, I've said all of my notes, everything, every rumor, everything I've covered. So I kind of said my piece. So questions, comments. What's next? Dan says plans could change. The HBO Blocks won't launch spin-offs, but the series itself will be book plus. Well, that's what I'm saying. I'm not saying plans can't change. I just, thankfully, this is, when I can quote an actual leader in a company, we don't have to go off rumors. This isn't a leak. We get to quote Robert Kirkman himself. I think that's just always important to clarify. So because I was there, I was in the panel, I was watching him, and he literally said 4 books a month is right. That's where we're stopping. So that's literally his word. That's it. Obviously, if it's hugely successful, I could see it going to 5, or like I said, ever so often, 4-issue miniseries. We'll just have to wait and see. That I have an answer for that too. So I'm going to read this real quick. Dan says, so Kirkman might say no more books now, then say, hey guys, Power Rangers joined the Energon universe. That's actually already been confirmed. Hasbro said this. This is directly from Hasbro. Power Rangers will not be incorporated into their larger universe expansion. Power Rangers will never be a part of anything else that they do. That Hasbro's already confirmed that. That's done. Power Rangers is way too restricted. It is on its own. That's it. Power Rangers, just like Dungeons and Dragons and My Little Pony, you're never going to see them in the Energon universe. They are on their own. They exist each in their own bubbles. Power Rangers is successful at Boom. It's done. Hasbro has confirmed that to investors. Hasbro confirmed that to Boom. And frankly, Skybound didn't even want those other ones. They wanted the 80s cartoons that they grew up with. But that's it. That's been 100% confirmed. That's been put to bed. That is not changing. I can tell you right now. You can bookmark this part. We will never see Power Rangers come to the Energon universe, just like we won't see My Little Pony come to the Energon universe. The only things that I could see added to the Energon universe, but not as their own books, I could see Action Man. I think Action Man could fit in with the GI Joe aesthetic. Um, but that's really it. And again, I say all of that to say this. I only know Action Man from the Fox Kids CGI show from the late 90s. Was that Mainframe? Did Mainframe make that too? Anyway, I'll have to search that up separately. But, uh, yeah. Uh, let's see. Miguel has 84 coins in Fortnite. I had 131, and then I spent 100, so now I have 31. Let's see. Dan says the Power Rangers IP feels like a licensed nightmare, like Hulk and Kingpin and Universal and Sony. They have a new series coming to Disney. Yeah, yeah, we talked about that. We've been talking about the Power Rangers Disney Plus show for over a year. Yeah, it's not really a licensing nightmare. Hasbro just owns it, but Hasbro didn't buy it. Hasbro told investors this because some people were worried because like Power Rangers really doesn't fit the rest of these universes, and so there was a question of is this going to be forced? And Hasbro was like, no, we don't want Power Rangers crossing over. Hasbro even licensed out the toy making. Hasbro doesn't even make Power Ranger toys anymore. All of it's licensed out. All Hasbro is doing is just raking in the money with Transformers. Boom is doing its thing. Disney's doing its thing. And then, shit, I'm sorry. I can't remember who's making the Power Ranger toys. Is it like Jada? I don't know. I'm sorry. But anyway, I still feel like there is to me you just don't get any clearer. When words come from Robert Kirkman and Hasbro, that's pretty much the end of the conversation. Um let's see. Dan says, "What about the Power Rangers adjacent book from Skybound, Family Force V? It only has one volume." Yeah, but that's not in the again, has nothing to do with the Energon universe. Family Force V. From Gregness to the Gutter. I had to spend it, man. Young adults and oh, okay. Because I was like, I wanted to make sure because I never want to. It's not my intention to ever try to say anything incorrectly. So hey, Kaz. Family Force V. Okay. Family Force V was a mini series sold in and released in June 2025. It was a Sentai series inspired by blah blah blah. Basically fighting alien kaiju. Yeah, I don't really know what the question is. I didn't read this myself, but this has nothing to do with Hasbro or the Energon universe, so I don't really know what you're asking. This has nothing to do with anything. Family Force V is completely standalone. Yeah. That's it. It was by Matt Braley and Ainsworth Lynn, um, and it was a young adult graphics novel. It's not any kind of ongoing. It's creator owned. Yeah, it's even creator owned. Like it's this is owned by the creators. So like it's that's it. Like there's nothing to it. So you'll have to be more clear on Family Force V what exactly you're asking. So this is officially from Image Comics and Skybound. I'm literally reading it. Creator owned, and it's inspired by a number of Sentai series. They don't even name check Power Rangers at all, but it's a Sentai inspired series, and it's just they fight kaiju, and but it's creator owned, and book one released, and that's it. Oh, so completely separate. Matt planning. I have no. That was I was at the Energon Universe panel, man. Like they didn't talk about this at all. This wasn't talked about. This is going to be up to the creator, and I don't know Matt. I have no idea. No offense to Matt or Ainsworth. I did not read this, not for any negative reason. I am not a Sentai fan. I have no interest in Power Rangers. Like I have no involvement like in any of this. This is completely outside anything. Like this was not talked about at the Energon Universe panel. This wasn't. This wasn't talked about at any panels I attended. Um, yeah, and it's creator owned, so that's all on Matt Braley. I would check with Matt on Twitter and see if he'll answer you. Oh, speaking of Twitter, we're gonna have a very very rare limited piece of Transformers material coming in the next 2 weeks. I ordered James Roberts' new book, Generation Mech. We're going to be talking about that. We're going to be talking about that when it comes in. I'm very excited to get James Roberts' next book. If you don't know who James Roberts is, I don't know how much of a Transformer fan you are. Okay, let's see. I could see why Hasbro wouldn't want to touch Power Rangers too many generations. As soon as you pull in Wild Force or Time Force, someone will ask you, what about Dino Thunder or Mighty Morphin? I don't know what that shit is. No clue. Casual Gamer says I just came. No fucking context. No, no context at all. Kaz just said I just came. I'm sorry, I can't pin that in the dashboard, so I've got to pin that on my browser because that's the pinned message for today. Oh, I just came. I'm not mature enough for this shit. I'm not. I have never, ever, 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 ever pretended to be mature. Ever. So if you just put I just came, and again, a bit of a language barrier, so I mean, I get it. You just came to the stream. But if you just send I just came, you will derail everything we're doing here. I have never once promised that this is a mature adult stream. We are juveniles, and I inspire terrible behavior in people already, so I've been told. My sister once said, every time you get around my husband, he starts acting like this. Which, again, I'm a little unhinged, a little wild. But if you just put I just came, you cannot expect me not to focus on it. That's all I'm saying. We just lost so many viewers. Transformer fans are really serious. Everybody's like super serious. Anyway. Yeah, my sister Laura, who you know, once said that because I have a mouth on me and I curse and I talk ridiculous and all that. uh, and I was being silly, and then her husband started being silly and weird, and she said, he gets like this only when you're around. And then she says, you bring out the weirdness in people. And I was like, thank you. That's really kind. Because I'm pretty sure she meant it as a compliment. Arkham! Hey! Again, everybody, since you're here, like, subscribe, comment on my other videos on this channel, and like those too, and consider sharing it. Consider sharing it. You know, a little tweet, a little Insta, go into a Discord, a little Discording, you know, create a little Discord. That's all I'm saying. Okay, yeah. Again, caught up again. Nothing like significant to like really say. But I've caught up on my news, caught up on the rumors. That's where we're at. Anybody? Anybody got anything? We need those likes to go up. Not all of you have liked. I see it. Okay. I'm sorry for that derailment. That is Kaz's fault. I want to be really clear. I take no responsibility. I'm perfect. So, okay, questions, comments on Transformers related things. Are you a trans fan? Because that's what this is all about. We got to raise awareness on being trans. We got to organize trans fans. That's what I'm saying. We got to make moves. We need to show people that we need to show Hasbro and all these other companies that we can turn out in big numbers. We're doing it for the comics. We got to do it for the other shit. Got to fucking do it. When Transformers the movie's 40th anniversary is re-released in theaters this September, you better fucking go see it, you motherfucker. Anyway. I'm not even going to dignify that with a response. I'm not even going to. No. So again, everybody, I am sorry for Kaz's behavior. Oh, I can close this Family Force V now. Anything? Okay, no, nothing. Sorry, I'm checking my Transformer sites. Beast Wars Predacon 30th Anniversary Multi-Pack from Hasbro. Oh, hey. Nice. Again, I'm getting the YOLO Park model kit, so I'm not going to get this. But for people who have to have transforming Hasbro stuff, there you go. Let's see. The multi-pack comes with, it's all the Season 1 cast. Inferno, Megatron, Tarantulas, Black Arachnia, Scorponok, Pterosaur, and of course Waspinator. And it looks like it's going to be about $230. There you go. Not my thing, because I've won all these characters, but I'm getting, YOLO Park has already said they're going to do all the Season 1 Beast Wars cast, so, and that's just 30, 30, 30, 30, 30. So I'm just waiting. I've already got Optimus Primal and Dinobot pre-ordered, and then Megatron and Black Arachnia are next, and I'm going to get those pre-ordered, and I'm just going to go with it. Let's see. Arkham says, I watched Transformers cartoons when I was a kid because robots are cool, but I wouldn't consider myself a fan, but I still think the concept is very cool. Oh, hey, right on. Right on. Well, again, it's just a matter of getting your feet wet. You know what? Here's what we'll do. Here's what we'll do, Arkham. I'm going to do this just for you. Tell me your favorite, give me your favorite show or cartoon. Give me your favorite show or cartoon right now. We'll find you a Transformer story that matches that. We'll make you. We will make you a. We'll make you a trans fan like I am. Let's see. Miguel says, "Do you think we could get a Minicon as a sidekick?" Yes, I do. and it should be either spark plug or jolt for the Autobots, or Leader 1 for the Decepticons. Kaz says, brother, I will start getting Transformers Blocky soon. Blocky's is amazing. I know, right? Like, I have them literally within reach. So, like, I can pull it from my shelf. But, like, this is the new Shockwave Shining Edition. So, like, he lights up. I'm not much of a reviewer. Like, I do little shorts about these toys. But, like, I'm a terrible reviewer. I really am. Because I, you know, if I get something, that means I like it. And I'm not going to sit here and be like a motherfucker. Look at the ball joint. Look at how it rotates, motherfucker. I guess I could review it like that. That would be different, but I don't think that would really get any attention because yet again, I've noticed these toy commenters who like comment and watch toy reviews, they take this shit really seriously. And I just am in general not serious enough. But if you want a review, it's got a fucking ball joint here and it does the rotating and then it can do this. He got that little motherfucking light bulb head and he can get like confused dog. He can do a little tilt. He's got like a thigh swivel. He's got some crazy shit, man. He can do, like, he's got more cuts than I do. And he lights up. I don't light up. I light up a room. Ah! I almost dropped my phone. Anyway, Luke! How you doing, man? For those of you who don't know, I'm his daddy. Anyway. Luke says, bro, this is off topic, but he did it in all caps. That's why I was loud. Calm down. I hope we get a Magneto and Cap interaction in Doomsday. Something about Magneto respecting Cap or something like that. Oh, yeah, I hope we do too. I don't mind that. That would be cool. Arkham says he loves Spectacular Spider-Man. Transformers Animated. Transformers Animated. Seriously. It's free on Tubi. Tubi's like a streaming app. Well, at least in America. I know you're not American. But it's like free. You can. Oh, Transformers Animated is also free on Hasbro's YouTube channel. I'll post a link in the Discord. The complete series. Transformers Animated. Give it a shot. That's all I'm saying. Give it a shot. Give it a shot. I'll post it in the Discord. Hopefully. If I remember. Luke says Shartimus Prime. What? What does that mean? Like I made a joke on TikTok, Divorcimus Prime, because that's funny. What is it? What is a shart? Isn't a shart like a fart and a shit? Like you fart and you end up shitting? What is that? Anyway, Luke just came. Kaz says that's like going to McDonald's and saying I love the Pizza Hut you guys make. And Miguel says, don't. It sucks, Decepticon. I'm lost, but like the video before you leave. We're almost done here. We need to get those likes. Our viewership does not match the amount of likes that we're getting. Come on now. Oh, we got a new subscriber too. I don't know who yet. It hasn't notified me who subscribed, but we got a new subscriber. Okay. Arco says, I think I watched Transformers Animated actually, looking at the art style and designs. Seriously, man. Transform and Rollout is the 3-episode pilot. It originally aired as a TV movie. It's free on YouTube. If you only think you watched it, that's all I'm saying. It's got a lot of personality. It's got a lot of character. It really does have a lot of character. It's got a lot of personality. It's a very similar vibe to Spectacular Spider-Man. It is worth watching. I'm going to post it on Discord. If you can't find it, it is free on YouTube. Oh, we even got a preview for Skybound's Void Rivals issue 29. The Quintesson War nears its conclusion as Derek and his father, Mr. Doolin, are put on trial. Oh, wait. What is an elite Sharkticon? Okay, come on, that's fucking cool. Oh, these covers are great. I want that one. I wonder how hard that. Let's see. A, B, C. Okay, that's cover D. Am I right? I want cover D. Anyway, um, let's see. Kaz says, Greg! Again, he's in all caps, so I'm going to yell like it implies. Greg! Any update on TMNT Last Ronin or a new AAA game? No. As far as I know, the Last Ronin game is still in development, but I don't got anything beyond that. Sorry. But I never heard that the Last Ronin was canceled. So. How does Divorcimus Prime love TFA's style but is repulsed by Ben 10? Because it looks good for Transformers. And Transformers Animated looks like it had a bigger budget. It looks cool, says Arkham. Oh, it does. It does. I'm on YouTube because I'm looking for it because it really is. I don't know if this is like exclusive to like oh hey, you're not in America so you can't watch it, but Transformers Animated, G1 Prime, every Transformer cartoon is free on Hasbro's channel. On Hasbro's Transformers channel. Here it is. The first half of season 1, free on YouTube, posted by Hasbro themselves. This is legitimate. This is all up on the shit. This is all on the up and up. And then there's a tag for you. Okay. Cass says, thanks for saving me from the Mario ripoff. Oh, no problem, man. That's really dirty that a company tried to do that. Miguel says, nah, you just biased against Ben 10. No, I'm telling you, man. It looks like it had a bigger budget. Like, I don't mind stylization. It's a matter of budget. It's a matter of, like, something legitimately looking worse. Like, all the designs in Transformers Animated, they're really good designs for all these characters. Like, it's legit. Okay, we are at an hour. So, hold on. I'll give everybody a minute. I got a lot of TikTok notifications. So I'm checking. Why is it so loud? I hate that ads just like fucking start automatically. Fucking piece of shit. Oh, nice. My Transformer video is doing pretty good. Cool. Where are we at? Okay, nothing. Cass says today was my hand reveal. I noticed we have a new thumb in the Discord. I already noticed. I just didn't want to play into the joke because I feel like gotta let the joke settle. Okay. All right. 1 hour mark. Last chance. I gotta stretch. And then I'm getting off. I'm gonna play some Fortnite before I leave the house. Maul Shadow Lord will have Easter eggs referencing the Force Unleashed. I have no comment on that. I'm sorry. I listen. In terms of what's going on, if Epic laid you off, that sucks. Lay off, it sucks being laid off. It does. It is not the win you think it is to post and say, I gave Epic my time when I was sick. I gave them endless hours. I gave them weekends, and this is what they give me. So I'm going to just say, this is a learning experience. These companies don't owe you, and they don't own you. If you gave up that much of your life for a company, this is time for self-reflection. Don't ever do that. Don't do that for anybody. They don't care about you. They don't value you. Not a single one of these companies do. You're not family. This needs to be a learning experience. This is not something you post about excitedly and that other people share and like, oh yeah, absolute. No, this is a learning experience. Don't do that. Don't do that. Okay? If you're sick and the company demands your time, like, don't give yourself to a company. You live once. Don't fucking do that. Anyway. Kaz says, so before you go, I missed the entire thing. Well, then watch it. Thank you and goodbye. Oh, and after you watch it on the archive, make sure you like and comment that because it counts separately. The comment does anyway. I don't know if it saves your like after it's, goes through the processing when we finish. But do comment on that video after you watch it. Anyway. Kaz says all companies, all work, stuff is made for profit and you can get replaced by a snap. People need to learn that. That's what I say, man. That's what I'm trying to say. Like, because I know we've been talking about it in the Discord. And listen, it sucks. But, like, it is not the flex you think it is, saying, like, I gave them tons and tons of overtime and hours and endlessly and endlessly and endlessly. And while I was sick and while I had pneumonia, it's like, man, that's not good. There are companies that don't do that to you. Like, that's on you. You should not do that for any company. There's no LinkedIn post. There's no viral, stupid, fucking fake-ass video. There's no cheerleader chant that's going to get me to say, oh, yeah, devote. I don't even tell my kids that. There is no company worth all that. Not a single goddamn company is worth that. Okay. Now we're done. I'll see you guys in the Discord. I'm going to grab a snack. I'm going to grab a controller. I'm going to get on Fortnite for a little bit. And if I assume Miguel will be joining me because I'm always right. And I know Miguel will be joining me. So we'll see you a lot later. I will not be on tonight for obvious reasons. I have a date. I will be on. I think I'm going to be live tomorrow. So I don't know if Saturday's a good live streaming day. I don't give a fuck, but I'm going to be on tomorrow. And then, as always, on this channel, videos Monday through Friday at 9 a.m. Central Time. So there you go. Don't miss them. Watch them. I don't care if you don't like Transformers. This might make you like Transformers. Watch it, comment, and like. Okay, now that's it. I hope everybody has a good night. I'll see you in Fortnite. Okay, bye. Oh, I'll tell you how the date went, Mac.